Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios, it's time for Women in Motion. Brought to you by WBEC West. Join forces, succeed together. Now, here's your host.
Lee Kantor here, another episode of Women in Motion, and this is going to be a good one. But before we get started, it's important to recognize our sponsor, Webeck West. Without them, we couldn't be sharing these important stories. Today on Women in Motion, we have Lindsey Shores with Baby A Go-Go. Welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
I am so excited to learn about Baby A Go-Go. How are you serving folks?
So I'm a mother of three. I have ages 8, 6, and a 3-year-old, almost 4. And I'm here to create better, more innovative, essential baby products to make, depending on the situation, I like to say it makes parent life less sweaty because it can be really stressful. But here to make it a little bit smoother and modernize products that have not been updated for years and years and years that are feeling really behind the times to make parent life a lot easier.
So were you always making products before you had kids?
No, good question. I've actually been a personal fashion stylist for about 15 years. I still do projects here and there. Sounds fun. I started actually as a red carpet stylist in my early 20s, an assistant there. And I grew into my own personal styling company I had for multiple years. And I've worked in television, a lot of editorial and personal shopping and consulting as well. So it's been quite the random pivot, but I have also created my own women's fashion line, pre-COVID. And I got my hands really dirty and understood how factories and product development and everything worked, hands-on. And so from there, I found a new love and passion and problem that I wanted to years later.
So what was the first Baby A Go-Go problem that you solved?
I have created a diaper kit called the Diaper Kits. And it's an on-the-go diaper kit that fits into your pocket. And it includes 1 diaper and 5 wipes. The little pie of 5 wipes it's an uncommon thing. So we're working on selling those separately as well. But it's a diaper kit that's compact and vacuum sealed. So it's as big as, George Costanza's wallet. Actually smaller, I should say, if anyone's familiar with that episode. But I kind of joke that it's like the man's new diaper bag, but it's also the woman's because, your kids, the more you have kids, the less you want to carry. And it feels ridiculous to run into obstacles and situations where you have to go buy 15 more diapers when you actually just need 1.
And so you have this idea, then how did you kind of build it out and then get it manufactured?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, I did a women line. So just a little backstory that I didn't know how to sketch. I'm still not a great sketcher or draw or anything, but I worked in fashion for so long. I had a great idea of doing women's long shorts that were appropriate for the office, at home, that you could play around with your kids. And so I taught myself how to sketch and I hit market 6 months later with 15 pieces. And I was ready for retail, ready for the pop-ups, everything. And this product, the difference of a diaper and wipe compared to the woman's entire clothing line I did is astronomically different and more challenging because it's a new idea. And to hone in on the correct packaging and make sure that it's as sustainable as it can be because the product itself is, creating a lot of problems in the landfill. So trying to juggle that idea along with making it appealing and understandable. I actually worked with a factory in China for my fashion line, and I got really close to the lady there that was basically, she's young. She's very young at the time. But she was on top of things and made the factory run and was my communicator there. And I actually flew to China and worked with the factory hands-on for about a week. And so I got to know her really well. We ran around to all the markets together, spent a lot of time together. And I actually reached out to her again to help me with this product. And so she's been an awesome partner overseas, I guess you should say. I just hire her out to help with the random things that I need on sourcing different products. I describe exactly what I need, and she is really great. And we have a great connection of understanding each other really well.
Now, for folks who aren't familiar with how to work with somebody in overseas like that, do you have any advice that you can share about doing something like that? Because it seems for some people pretty daunting challenge to just, trust, I guess you're working over Zoom or you have an idea. I mean, there's some fear, like, are they going to steal my idea? Like, there's all kinds of emotions that go into this. Can you share maybe your experience and what you've learned, maybe some advice?
Yes, definitely. So I had no idea what to do or how to start myself. And I started literally Googling China factories when I first came across them. And when I was doing my fashion line, most factories want to do a quantity of at least like 1,000 pieces of each product. And I talked them down. I found this one factory that was willing to do 500. And then I talked them down to doing 100 per piece, because obviously it's just a lot of upfront cost. But I literally Googled and reached out to probably 75, maybe 50 to 75 factories. Most of them just a quick response of like, yeah, we can't do low minimums, not interested, and I felt very lucky to come across them. And we started communicating through WhatsApp. And I started, it was very delicate at the beginning because I didn't know where the trust was. And we just became very thorough. She would send images of her pieces that I would be developing. I would send her videos of kind of like my sketches of the line. And that's kind of the same route that we've been going, the exact same route we've been doing for the diaper and wipe, and communicating that way. So obviously their time is almost like overall, like, their night time is our daytime. So I remember during the fashion line, like I would wake up in the middle of the night and hop on my computer for an hour or two to get things done. And for this product, this go around, she will, go source, go to the market, and then she'll send me that night what she found. And that night is my morning. And so it kind of just really worked itself out. And, we just continue to build trust there. As far as feeling worried about the idea getting stolen, I actually have an IP attorney. We did have a patent pending for a long time, and still may go that route again. But you just can't completely patent a product is what it kind of comes down to completely make it, to not be copied ever. There's not like a full way to do that. And if someone were to copy it completely, the amount that it takes to go take them down is pretty extravagant. And so at this time, we're just, crossing our fingers that there will be knockoffs. But, if you're kind of the OG, then that's kind of the hope that the brand could sustain on its own.
Now, when you had the idea, before you got into manufacturing it, did you do any type of focus group or testing of any kind? Or did you just kind of take the leap? And then once you had those initial 100 that you were going to then see if the market would buy it?
So the 100 was actually the fashion line. Are you talking about the diaper?
Oh, the diaper. Yeah. Wipe, diaper and wipe.
Right. So, the diaper and wipe, we've had to do a much larger order because diapers have a much higher minimum of requirement, minimum quantity, I should say. But no, I did do a lot of testing, a lot of surveying, a lot of sharing the product idea, and physically sending them out to a lot of my high profile influencer friends, having them test the product, giving me feedback constantly on the design, the wrap itself, the size, the amount of wipes. I did a lot of surveying and testing. And that's how we kind of landed on everything as far as like the packaging, the aesthetic. I shop around with different product designers. And we've tested that route as well. And we've tested out what type of diaper, what sizing to start with, the amount of wipes to start with, and any and all feedback. So it's definitely like down to the product we have now. But we went through a lot of renditions. It actually started with having 3 diapers in a kit, or possibly 5 diapers with 20 wipes. And then it came down to be 1, and how we just really feel like we need a one-stop shop plan and backup product for when people are in a pinch.
And then are you selling this direct to consumer, like through your website or through Amazon, or is this in stores?
Yeah, we're not on Amazon right now. probably considering, but we are in a handful of stores. We're onboarding one of the largest travel agencies through some of their big Atlanta stores here in the next couple of months, as well as a bunch of their major turnpikes. And then we're also rolling out to a large grocery store on the East Coast. And then we have them in a handful of pharmacies, groceries, convenience stores as well. And then we do DTE as well from our website.
And then what did you have a background in kind of rolling out into retail like that? Or is this something you're also kind of learning on the fly?
I think I've had some experience. I mean, my fashion line was sold directly to consumer as well. But I don't know, I'm very familiar with retail. I've been around it a lot. I think my experience in China really suited and helps me understand how things worked as far as the manufacturing side, and then coming over to the retail side. And I'm just a very ground running, I will just go knock on doors, walk into Maverick headquarters. My fashion line, I stopped in Seattle and snuck my way up to Nordstrom's headquarters. And I have no problem just going to people's face to face and talking to them about what I have, because I have such a big passion for it. And it works a lot of the time that they understand the product, and, half of the product, 50% of it, product status, or excuse me, success is the product and 50% is the person, right? And kind of just how hard they're working and pushing, and that people want to work with them. And so that's how I found a lot of success with it.
So what was the reason you got involved with WeBeck West? Why was it important to be a certified woman-owned business?
Yeah, it was really important to me because I am working on this company now for 2.5 years, and it's just me. I hire out different things when it comes to design, when it comes to, maybe some social ideas, but mostly it's just me, and knowing the grueling amount it takes of time and the amount it takes of emotion with the family, and the females, are often not highlighted in different routes, but they are in different ways. I came across WBENC and was so excited to know that they were integrated with WEEC, and they had a lot of these events to promote and bring this community together of females and women owners and women creators and women designers and people in tech, everything. And I love a home and a space for, people that can understand me as far as the hardship of entrepreneurship. And then aside, on top of that, family within that, and promoting and exciting everyone, especially young females, that they too can create a product and still be a stay-at-home mom and be a female.
So what do you need more of? How can we help you?
Yeah. I've really enjoyed the events I've popped on to. It's been very beneficial and exciting, and always so interesting to hear everyone's path and journey. I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like I'm very much aware of all the awesome offerings you guys do, and I think it's been very positive. But I think just, I guess promotion or sharing more ideas. I think more groups have coming together and kind of exploring and bouncing ideas off of each other and brainstorming is always those are fun luncheons and breakfasts to do with people, because otherwise a lot of us are working on our own day to day.
Now, is there anything that Baby A Go-Go needs? Do you need more customers? Do you need more retail partners? Do you need funding? What do you need to continue your growth?
Yeah, I think down the road, maybe more in the future, we possibly might be open to funding. But at this time, yeah, we would love everyone to just visit our site, see the importance of the product and test it out, see how it works for them. I'm still open to feedback always. I love getting critical feedback and knowing how to develop things better. I also love having people spread the word and excitement on products that are trying to make life easier for us parents. Because it can be so tricky. And so I think just understanding the story, as well as just seeing the product and being excited and sharing that through socials or just by word of mouth, is always, the most important way of sharing anything.
So what's the website? What's the best way to connect?
Yeah, it's thebabyagogo.com. And you can hop on there and see that we have our diaper and wipe kit. We also have a rolling out soon on the site, but we haven't really technically promoted anything of it yet, but it's called the Magic Wipe. And that's a tiny little exciting product that you put in the palm of your hand, you press down the center and it expands into a wipe. And it's a very like wow factor product that's been really fun. But yeah, I would love people to hop on there and test out the product and see if they have any thoughts or ideas on it. I love collaborations as well. It's always exciting when people want to work together if they also own a baby company or a woman's postpartum company or anything like that.
Well, Lindsey, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing such important work and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Lee. It's been awesome to be here.
All right, this is Lee Kantor. We'll see you all next time on Women in Motion.